with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking viral. Weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden. Kamala. Meet news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Fran's ex-husband, Peter, was co-creator and showrunner of The Nanny.
That's right.
Came out as gay after the marriage ended.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. A very handsome Englishman, if I recall. And wasn't he the one that, remember, they survived a fucking gnarly home invasion. Remember she was like tied to a chair many years ago? I don't remember, but it was pretty.
No, first off, I hope she hadn't had a second home invasion. I think she was in New York.
Oh,
I think it was
maybe.
many years ago. And I think she was like raped at gunpoint.
God.
But I don't think she was
know that.
with, I don't know if she was with him at the time.
Oh, maybe not.
It was in 85, I believe. And it was her and like her roommate.
Broke in.
Yeah, January of 85.
Yeah.
2 armed robbers broke into Drescher and Jacobson's LA apartment. While one ransacked their home, Drescher and a female friend were raped by the other robber at gunpoint. Jacobson was also physically attacked, tied up, and forced to witness the entire ordeal.
Jacobson is
the friend.
roommate.
Oh, the roommate.
This is a very...
So she wasn't raped then?
Yeah.
Or was she?
I guess there were... so Drescher and Jacobson lived together, and then Drescher and a female friend were raped while Jacobson watched.
So someone was hanging around.
Yeah, so it sounds like
our friend.
People. Yeah,
that was just an oddly worded statement.
It was.
What kind of rock paper scissors game would have to take place if you're a couple of prowlers and you're going to break in and like, look, one of us is going to rape, the other's got to ransack. Well, you know me. I ransacked the last time.
I'm a ransacker.
I took one for the team.
That's
you're good at ransacking.
This is 2 apartments in a row where I've been ransacking instead of raping.
I don't want your blame.
Well, I got good at it because I've been doing it so much, but I'll tell you what's gathered some dust.
Paul McCartney was the best drummer in the Beatles, but he let Ringo do it because Paul played the bass.
And couldn't John Lennon not play the bass?
Yes, it all works out. Water reaches its own level.
Listen,
let's get to raping and ransacking.
I'm black and 19. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Let's get back to
split hairs.
That cultural.
Let's get back
touchstone.
to ransacking versus raping here. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I hurt my back ransacking last time.
I hurt my back raping.
Your back raping too.
All right. Just do the rock, paper, scissors and let's get on with it.
Fine. Rape, paper, scissors. Go.
All right. Yeah, so rape, paper, scissors. All right. Look, we shouldn't be joking.
No, this is not funny.
But I'm just saying. So that was that horrible.
Okay,
I don't know how you're
time.
ever. That was in L.A. too.
Oof.
Did they ever catch those guys? Chris?
Yeah, so according to Drescher, her rapist, who was on parole at the time of the crime, was returned to prison and given 2 life sentences.
Good. Bye-bye.
Oh, and Peter, the co-creator of The Nanny, that they met when Fran was 15, and they were high school sweethearts, married at 21.
I think the name of the production company was High School Sweethearts.
Ah.
Off the top of your head?
Yeah, literally. I'm a fan.
So she was, hold on a second. She was married to him then by 85.
Yeah, they were married in 78.
Oh.
But then why was she living in an apartment with a couple of chicks or whatever? Remember, that's confusing?
Out here for pilot season?
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Ugh. And then, all right, so what do you do if, you get divorced and at the end they're like, and I'm gay?
Yeah, let's talk about that because they were together for how many years?
And you're gay. So
a lot of years, were they not?
That
Since they were 21.
21 years.
That had to mean.
Well, probably more than that since they were 21.
Somebody had to step out a little bit.
I mean,
if you're
come
gay,
on,
right?
But also, do you think she knows?
Yeah.
At some point as well, and just accepts it.
Marriage of convenience.
I don't know. I don't know. I could be very naive. I don't know what I would know. I don't know if he told her. I don't know if they had an arrangement. I think there's 2 different reactions, though. Like, I think if you tell a woman you've been married to for 21 years, you're gay, she's probably not going to be happy about that. But if the woman says she's bi, the guy's going to start agitating for a threesome.
Yeah, he's going to pop the confetti.
Yeah, or at least, you may throw up, he may beat off, is what I'm saying. I think that would be two very different reactions.
I think
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair.
Because we'd want to know, like, who, and then you'd go, my friend, remember she was a cheerleader, Diane? Oh, yeah. What about her? Well, remember that time we said we went to Palm Springs?
We haven't had her over in too long.
Yeah, she
Last
should swing
time
back.
she dropped her kids off at the party and left.
She likes a slow gin fizz, doesn't she? I can go, good night.
I had a good friend of mine in high school. I've known him since 6th grade. We're still great friends today. And in our 20s, he calls me and he's like, "You're never going to believe this." And I'm like, I'm guessing pregnancies. I'm guessing deaths. I'm guessing all these things. And he's like, "My father's gay." And I was like, "What?" And he tells this story about how his father called him up and he's like, "Listen, I want to have dinner with you. There's something I really need to tell you." And he's like, "That's not my dad at all."
Right.
But his dad smoked growing up our whole lives. So he's like, all right, he's driving to dinner by himself and he's like, okay, Dad's about to tell me he's got cancer. We're going to figure this out. We're going to get these, really working himself up to hear this cancer news. And when they sit down and have dinner, his dad goes, "I'm gay." And he just said, "No, you have cancer." Like, he was not ready for that at all.
I'm smoking poles, son.
Wait, what? Like, spinning his head around. And then, and we all take our shots at him and stuff, as you do, because you should. And then, a few years later, one of my brothers is getting married, and we're in Chicago, and he happens to be coming to Chicago to visit his father and his father's new boyfriend, and he's going to come to the wedding. And he and his wife are high school sweethearts. So we get to this little party we're having in Chicago, hanging out, and he shows up, and he is pissed off. And I'm like, "What's the matter?" And his wife's got the biggest grin. She goes, "We just met his dad's boyfriend." I'm like, "What's the problem?" And she goes, "He's our age."
Yeah.
So now his dad's banging guys our age, and he's trying his ass off to every level. Like, God, that's tough. That's tough.
He's gay, but he's a man.
I think there should be a lot more dads coming out in the future. Correction to the story. It was Fran and Peter's apartment, her ex's apartment. That's my dad. And Peter was forced to watch it.
Yeah,
oh,
that's what
God.
I thought.
No,
You're
is that real?
Yes.
He was.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. How does the internet work where, Gina knows the story?
Well, I was jumping around, so when it says Drescher and Jacobson's apartment, I assumed that that was the female friend, but it was the guy's name is Peter Jacobson.
Was the female friend there?
Yeah, there is Drescher and a female friend were raped at Drescher and Jacobson's
so
apartment.
The husband had to
both. It's still up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to have her on.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Hot Drescher talk. I'm very excited. Well, let's talk about this thousands of low-level drug offenders who may be getting this get-out-of-jail-free card. So President Biden announced on Thursday that he's pardoning all federal marijuana possession
By the way,
convicts.
can I say this? Every human being that is doing something heinous to some other citizen of the United States is on parole.
Yeah.
Now, this guy abducted a family up north. I don't know if you heard about this, with an 8-month-old baby, and the mom and the dad and the uncle or whoever, and then the baby showed up at the house, zip ties, took him out, executed everyone. Was on parole, or was accused. He was accused. He got busted for doing that before, except for he didn't kill the people. And this time he decided to kill the people. It's like every motherfucker that's beating the shit out of somebody in a subway or smash and grab or punching somebody or abducting or whatever. It's always a long rap sheet. It's 99% of the violent crime from 7% of the people who it's a way of life for. We're going to have to do something about this. This sort of revolving door shit. It's weird because I don't think we wrap our mind around crime right. It's like, no one who would ever do this to anyone. You've never met them. You've never seen them. But there are a very small percentage of people who are doing all of it. And
prisons are full of.
The rap sheets or whatever. We just decide we can't have these people locked. Yes, we can.
But
Yeah,
maybe this will help.
Not the
Maybe
low-
we get rid of
make
these
room with
low-level
the-
weed
right.
offenders, get the prisons opened up for room to get these
Yes.
fucking lunatics in
And this
there.
is a
I'm with
little
you.
bit. This is a little bit symbolic, so it's not quite as cut and dry as you think. So let me explain. So he urged state leaders to do the same, and that's really where the bulk of these people would come from.
Governors need to say yes.
Exactly. He wants the Department of Justice to review how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. By the way, it is a Schedule I drug like heroin.
That's correct.
So that's
Heroin.
insane. We need to figure that out. But a senior official said that around 6,500 citizens convicted of simple possession of marijuana in the last 3 years, and a few thousand more in D.C., but that no one is in federal prison solely for a simple possession of marijuana charge, and that most marijuana possession convictions occur at the state level. So this is symbolic, right direction, but it's really not going to be up to Biden. It's a state by state.
Well, how many
issue.
doctors are in prison right now for overprescribing painkillers, the heroin that's all over the streets right now? How many of those guys
None.
and
Great
ladies are in
question.
prison right now? None. But all these marijuana people are going to fucking prison.
I can't imagine anyone in California going to prison for marijuana solely. I feel like you can do almost anything in California and get let out.
Well, and it's
Well, you can
funny.
do heroin on the streets. Have you seen
Sure.
these videos? I watched one the other day. It's
Videos,
not
we
funny,
live
but
here.
it's so damn funny. This lady is a Subway employee. Have you seen this? And she is
No.
making this man sandwich, clearly on heroin, and just slowly but surely falling asleep as she does it until her face and the brim of her visor are laying in this man's sandwich. And he's
Really?
just holding the video watching her. I see another one where the lady's checking people out of the register and she's just falling asleep on the sidewalk, standing up. Like, it's insane.
It's called dope dropping, and it makes you look like a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're kind of standing in, like you're like in a suspended state.
But she's employed, right?
Well, she was.
She
until that
was until
moment.
she fucking laid
You
in that
guys-
guy's sandwich.
there's a
Look at
new
that, man.
Subway opening in 9 minutes somewhere.
They're back, baby.
I would have no. If you were to ask me about Subway, I'd go, no. I mean, I get In-N-Out Burger and I get McDonald's and stuff like that. But no, you'd go to a sandwich place
You
and
get
get like
Jimmy
a
John's,
good
you get
sandwich.
Jersey
you know what I
Mike's,
mean?
Giamella's.
Costs a
Giamella's.
buck 11 more. Giamella's, yeah.
Chris can look it up, but as of recently, a few years ago, there were more Subways than McDonald's.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, Subway and Starbucks were like spreading
Are
it the same
Subways,
way.
is that in U.S. or Subways worldwide like
US.
McDonald's are?
Oh, I thought it was worldwide.
Is that right?
Well, the one I saw was U.S. It may be true worldwide.
crazy.
I don't know.
I'll tell you that the thing is every time I try to make fun of it, somebody who I'm saying it to goes, "Oh, I love Subway." I get they have their. It's. I think what it is they have their sandwich because they'll tell you. They won't go, "I like Subway." They go, "I like the tuna." I
Yeah.
get it with extra, whatever.
their Starbucks
whatever.
order.
Yeah, it's their thing, and it's
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not good. It's familiar, and when you're dumb, familiar is better than good. It's like that's how dogs eat.
Yeah.
My dog likes familiar. You know what I mean? Like the same thing every day in the U.S. 24,000 Subways versus 14,000 McDonald's.
That's
Damn.
almost
Mike.
twice as much.
But you can do that
It's
anywhere.
actually 13.8 McDonald's. I just rounded up, so yeah, even
wow.
better.
You can go to Jersey Mike's and say Turkey Club Mike's Way. Like you can do this in other places, people.
You know what I think it was? The East Coast has subs on lock. Like you can go get a pizza and a sub. We used to go get subs, not just a cheesesteak, but a chicken parm, an Italian, a meatball, whatever. And I don't think the rest of the country, the Midwest or anything like maybe Chicago, but outside of that, the Iowas and Idahos, they don't have stuff like that. And then boom, you hit something like a Subway, and these people think that's what a real sub is.
As someone from Kansas, he's 100% right. You
It's
grew up
the-
on Subway. That's
Right.
your sandwich.
It's the inverse of Taco Bell. Well,
Right.
that's Mexican food in
Right.
90% of the
That's
country.
what we grew up thinking.
because there's
yeah.
no choice. You
Right.
just get a sandwich.
Yeah, there was a place in the good sandwich names out in Chatsworth that I used to eat at, probably with Tom Johnson. My guy was my foreman when my work swung a hammer, but maybe it meant more to us. But it was called the Subcontractor,
That's not bad.
and I thought that's a good,
good.
solid.
I like
It was
that.
all a bunch of just
Subcontract.
I
HVAC
love a pun.
guys and
Good.
framers. A bunch of subs would literally eat at
But
the
white
Subcontractor.
paper, rolling it up with the
Yeah.
masking tape, boom, there you go. Little,
Cut
know,
the
that,
paper in
yeah.
half.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's a
like
sub.
a plan check. when
Fresh
you roll it up.
bread.
There's a restaurant called Plan
I
Check.
know, that's
Plan
right.
check. Yeah.
I always wanted to do a deli food truck called Winnebagel. If anyone's interested in
You should
investing.
definitely fucking do that.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Thank
How
you.
many times you just want I don't want a whole sandwich. I want a bagel.
When I was growing up out here, Subway, a little bit later, but they were around. Subway and H Salt fish and chips were tied. As a matter of fact, H Salt was more
Salt.
popular than Subway. It was just fish and chips.
There's one in North Hollywood.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's there.
So there was like they
I've never
were
been inside.
tied, and in the last
once.
30 years, Subway just
to the
fucking
moon.
exploded.
Is it good? Should I go
H-Salt?
in? Yeah.
H Salt. Well, first off,
How bad can it be?
it's
I mean,
fish
if
and
you're-
chips.
it's
Yeah.
fried
So
everything.
It's French
yeah.
fries. It's like
and fried fish.
Yeah.
meaty French fries,
Oh, like steak fries?
kind of, but not as meaty. Like good meaty, but good. They're a little
Yeah.
bit bulkier. Dipping them into the tartar sauce, fucking awesome. So you got that. The other is just cod with batter on it. I mean,
Yeah.
you cannot fuck up
Yeah.
fish and chips.
Yeah.
True.
And if you do, there's enough vinegar and lemon and sauce and
Yellow
stuff. It's
lemon.
fucking awesome. Yellow lemon.
Lemon. Well, some sad news from the comedy world. Rest in peace, Judy Tenuta.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Oh.
died of ovarian cancer Thursday in LA. She was 72. Now, you may remember the raspy voice known as the Love Goddess. Also
The
appeared
accordion.
That's right. Appeared in 2 Weird Al videos and some TV shows. Born in 49, she began her stand-up career in the 70s. By the 80s, she was on stage with Seinfeld, Paul Reiser, Jay Leno, Ellen DeGeneres. Her shtick, like you said, was wearing this sort of like ethereal gypsy costume, and she had a flower in her hair and the accordion.
Yeah.
I have a clip just to remind you. Also, after, I'm wondering if maybe Jay Leno has some memories of.
Yeah, it's in there. She did the whole accordion this. That was her thing.
That's right.
She's I got your squeeze box. That was. She did that. She did Tenuta. She had. She wore the big. Was an orchid.
Oh, it was an orchid.
Orchid in the hair.
Specifically.
Yeah, she'd come up there like the Queen of Sheba there. She had the going on there. And she'd do the whole. It was a lot of accordion based, you know.
Accordion-based humor.
Yeah. She did October chest, and she'd put her tits out like that. You know, it was a lot of accordion based stuff. You know what I mean?
I think you're right about that. Let's watch a clip that supports what Jay just said.
The Pope and I astral projected. It happened. And we went to Texas, and I wrote this love song for the Pope. It's a country and western love song.
She did Ode
and
to
you
the
could
Pope.
dance to
That
this
was her
case
thing.
sponge. I just want a cowboy to ride me home.
Yeah, she's funny.
I just want a cowboy who's rich and lives in Rome.
She did Cowboy Pope band. That was her band.
Cowboy with gold-plated soap. Yeah, I just want a cowboy named John Paul the Pope.
She did Ride the Pope bit. That
People
was her
loved
bit.
it.
Yeah, she did Pope. She did play the accordion and the squeeze box, and then she did the whole Pope thing. And
Right.
that was her thing. Orchid. She'd wear an orchid in her hair.
Well, you really
Yeah.
do have very vivid memories of her.
Oh, yeah, we toured. Yeah,
toured?
no, well, yeah.
I could see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think of her like Louis Anderson, like that whole vibe.
Louis Anderson's a big fat guy. I mean, he did the whole.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying they were the same
He
person.
did the whole gap tooth thing. That was his bit.
Oh, that was his.
Yeah,
that
she
was
did
his
the
big
Pope. She did Ride the Pope. Ride the Pope was her thing.
That was
Louis
like her-
fat guy. Then there was mom. You know.
Oh wow.
He was a good comedian. Good guy.
Thank you for that history lesson. Okay. So she will be missed. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, this thing has legs. It's still happening. There's suits, countersuits, and it's getting dark. They almost settled the divorce battle over the French winery that they own together. But then Pitt allegedly required that Jolie sign a non-disclosure agreement that prohibited her from speaking outside of court about Pitt's physical and emotional abuse of her and the children. In court documents submitted last week, she claims that Brad Pitt, and we kind of remember the story a little bit, Brad Pitt choked one of the kids on that flight in 2016 on their private jet. Brad reportedly got...
Some World War Z flashbacks.
That's right. He got drunk. He got belligerent. The pilots had to make an unscheduled stop to get Brad off the plane. He reportedly peed on the tarmac and hijacked an airport truck before crashing.
That's a fucking man right
That's
there.
so Brad
That's a
Pitt, right?
man.
That's all.
I want to party with him.
That's right.
Badly.
Angelina's
This is true. This is
yeah, it's from the Sun.
The big revelation is Angelina Jolie is the one who called TMZ and dropped the dime on herself and Brad when she was with Jennifer. Did you hear about this?
To make it all
more
clean
salacious,
break?
or yeah.
I think that was a recent scuttlebutt. It's about a week and a half old, maybe max power. But she's like, she's the guma, and he's married and with somebody else,
If
and
you
they're
want
like
it-
dating, and they're like, I would like you
make
to
this
end
official.
this.
If you
And
want this to go away.
so they were like filming, and they were going to go walk on the beach together, and she alerts the paparazzi to come break it. Look, if you're not
Crazy
going
like
to
a
tell
fox.
Jennifer Aniston, then the Inquirer will.
Interesting.
Forces
Interesting,
hand.
right?
Did he
Yeah.
know that?
No.
I mean,
That'd be
Before
a
the walk on the
bold
beach?
gambit.
was it like a
knew
threat?
that,
Like,
but-
was it a threat? Like, if we don't go public, I'll do it for you.
I do not think so. I think this is a recent revelation. I don't know
Wow.
if she
Oh, okay.
ever.
Interesting. Well,
Said
apparently, in a countersuit, she also accuses Brad of pouring beer and wine on her and the children. He became physical and injured Angelina, apparently, this according to the New York Post. The kids who came to her defense met their dad's rage, quote unquote. One was choked, another slapped. I don't really see Brad as this violent drug guy,
I
but
agree.
what don't we know? I don't
He's
know.
a
Well-
weed smoker, so I don't see this. He's a weed smoker.
Yeah.
But he could probably get loose. He peed on a tarmac and stole a truck and crashed
That's
it.
fucking
Listen,
gross.
as the older I get, the more and more I have to pee a lot. And if I was nowhere to go,
Well
I would
put.
absolutely step outside and pee on that tarmac
Sure,
too.
I get it.
I don't know about stealing the airport truck, but
the
if I
thing
was
about-
Brad Pitt, I would. I would.
The airport truck's very limited in terms of commandeering something, and
It's probably an old F-150 from the 80s. and
if
shit.
you're lucky, it's
I was
probably
thinking
one of
of-
those baggage
yeah,
trackers.
trains,
Yeah,
Right,
the stair car.
They're calling it a truck. yeah.
Tires don't even take
Yeah.
air; they're just solid. You're going 9 miles an hour with the cops chasing you.
They're just lightly trotting next to you, like, come on, Brad.
Steering it
Come
like
on,
a
Brad.
tugboat, Like I just don't think you could evade anyone
Yeah.
on one of those things.
I used to drive those.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I worked at UPS, shout out to UPS Baltimore Hub Primary 1 Joe Avenue. I used to drive the Earache cart, and I would have that orange cart with like 7 of them behind me, and I would have to
Yeah.
learn to snake through the building. They had to teach me how
man.
to drive it. Yeah,
That's a
crazy.
skill.
yeah, it was a skill. Because you'd have to stand up on it. You'd get through all these poles. It was wild. I loved it.
Wow.
You should go do. I bet you're pretty good at go karts and shit.
Yeah, I love go-karts.
Yeah, I bet you
yeah.
are. Let's talk about Brittany Spears. Just checking in on some of the rich and famous. Her mom came out online begging for forgiveness. She can't contact her directly, so she made this social post that I think has Brittany's blocked her anyway. But that's been met with a big F you from Brittany in what seems to be a now deleted post. Brittany lit up Instagram on Wednesday night with this F-bomb laced reply to the mom's apology. And even though the post is gone, I'm going to read you some of it, but I'll give you something better to look at. Here she posted some nudes, and I'll show you that instead while I read the Instagram post.
Her new husband, Sam.
Oh my!
Yeah.
There's people back there.
That's right.
She's really
A lot of
Is that Soho Malibu?
she's really nude.
Yeah, she is.
She is very new.
She's going for it. And this is what she says to her
Wait,
mom.
Is
Yeah?
her husband allowed to kind of chime in? Like, I want to take some more nude shots. Like, are you allowed to go?
Is he taking
kind of my
someone's
wife now?
taking it.
Yeah,
Like,
can we calm down, tone it down?
Reel in the nudes a little
Wow.
bit.
Yeah. I
She's
mean,
wearing
she's
a
got,
hat.
she's wearing a hat because the other post was, I cut my hair, but I'm not ready to show you. Instead, I'll show you my entire naked body.
Okay.
Something
That's what she's
seems
ready to
off
show.
with her.
What?
Yeah.
Well, here's what she said in
She's
response
at a
to
resort, it looks like to me, because there's like a
No.
little Hobie cat
Yeah, yeah.
back there and
Right.
It's a sandals-ish kind of thing.
This is what she had to say to the apology.
It'd be nice for any couple that's walking on the beach, because you'd be like, I went on vacation. I saw Brittany Spears. Where, like in the line at the restaurant or something? Did you buy? She's fucking naked. I just
At the
passed
beach.
titties and snatch, and yeah, she was right there. Like
Big hat.
most time you spot, someone at the airport
right.
or walking out of the club or something,
Yeah.
but you don't really get them fully naked.
I mean,
I think she would have a better tattoo.
yeah.
It's not a great looking tattoo.
I don't know
over
what
there.
her
It's all
tat-
faded, and I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
even tell what the hell it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's dirt.
It's all
True.
beat up. Look at that.
Is it
What's
a
all beat up?
star?
I don't know. Well,
The tattoo?
Zoom in.
Yeah, she has one on each side.
Oh, is it? There's two.
I see another one.
Oh yeah, there's two
Balance.
crotch tattoos.
Chippendale.
Crotch
Maybe.
tattoo.
Okay, well, let me read you what she had to say to Mom. For 13 years, I was the fucking saint who was scared to move, or I knew my dad would put me somewhere if I didn't cooperate. Even in America, the land of the free, years go by and he still puts me in a psych ward. And as for Lynn, Brittany wrote, no one fucking person stood up for me. Mom, take your apology and go fuck yourself. I pray you all burn in hell.
Wow.
Don't,
That's
Brian.
definitive.
Don't. Yeah, so that's what she thinks of the apology.
Wow.
I just, that
Brittany showing her Brittany.
here's the thing. I don't know if we like. You guys tell me if you like this time or not. I grew up in a time where people just had celebrities. They had no problems. At least that I was aware of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They were
Very
just
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
There's this lifestyles of the rich and famous, and that's Morgan Fairchild.
That's right.
And she comes down the stairs dressed to the nines, and the butler opens the car door for her, and she has her slow gin fizz because she's got her own bartender.
And that's all we know.
And they created this thing that was just like, oh, look at that. Look at Tom Selleck. He doesn't have a problem in the world.
George Hamilton.
Bob Urich.
Yeah.
That guy, he's fucking Dan Tana. He doesn't have a problem in the world. Not a problem in the world. And now everyone's just taking pictures of him, the Hasselhoff's daughter's filming him when he's fucked up trying to eat a cheeseburger.
On the floor.
Everyone's tweeting shit out.
Yeah.
We know exactly what Brad Pitt's up to on that private flight. There was nothing. We didn't know who was gay. We didn't know who was miserable. We didn't know who was had mental issues. It was all just this glamorous world. Kind of liked it.
Yeah. Better off.
They're people too.
They're stars. They're just like us.
That should give me some solace or something. It doesn't. It just makes me feel like now everyone's miserable and there's no chance.
Yeah.
Used to be that if you could afford Morgan Fairchild's home, then you would be happy.
That's right.
Now that's off the table. Everyone's miserable. They either kill themselves or come out as gay at some point.
Yeah.
It's like it's all sad.
Yeah.
I miss the fantasy.
You're sick of people living their truth publicly.
I am not interested in your truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're not interested in mine. I mean, truth is a two-way street.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, because we were talking about things that happen at the airport and at the airplane, I feel that we need to talk about this. A Southwest Airlines pilot is suing the company, her union, and a former co-pilot who stripped down naked in front of her in the cockpit during a flight in 2020 and watched some porn for himself. Christine Janning reported that Michael Hack reported him to her bosses and the FBI after the incident and claims the airline retaliated against her by keeping her grounded for 3 months. Hack eventually pled guilty to locking the cockpit door, stripping down naked, and watching porn.
Well, the cockpit door's locked by law.
Sure.
Anyway,
So he was doing the right
that's
thing in
off
one
the
But it
table.
is the cockpit.
That's right.
It's got the word cock in it. It's got. If you put me in a room and I said, "Is that door impenetrable?" Yep. And it's fully locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a viewing port. Well, we can look out, but no one.
Nobody
No
can
one's
see in.
seeing in.
How long's this flight? 7 hours. I'm gonna beat off real quick.
Real quick.
I have a thing about being in locked small spaces and not beating off.
Well, you're going to love his reasoning for this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
This guy's flying our plane.
Yes,
now. That's the
exactly.
Thing.
And I
We're
think
back there doing what we're supposed to be doing.
I feel like
He's
you're
up
gonna.
there harassing this
You're
woman
gonna-
that's trying to get us safely.
That's right. And I think you may just respect where his head was at. He says he did it because Janning, who ended up suing, asked him if there was anything he wanted to do before he retired.
No, he wanted to join.
It's a bucket list item.
He wanted to join the half mile
what I
club.
wanted.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
wow.
right. He was convicted of committing a lewd incident or obscene act and sentenced to probation.
I would have worked a medical angle. Like I'd be like, God, I can't get my ears to pop.
My ears.
It's only you do that thing where you
it
hold your
doesn't
nose.
work. Chewing gum,
there's
maybe?
only one. I got to relieve some pressure. There's only
Recalibrate.
There's only one
Something's
thing
clogged.
that works. Yeah.
Now you got me thinking. I mean, they're just computerized tubes. How many male, female, or even male pilots do you think have actually fucked in a
Got
cockpit?
to ask your dad's friend. He's
Wow,
probably banged a few young guys up there.
Yeah, right. You're right. But not in the cockpit. I mean, how many pilot tandems do you think have actually fornicated in the cockpit while we're all back there just flying?
It's 5-6 hours.
It's
and
had to
plane's
happen.
flying
They do
itself.
sleep,
It
so
had to
yeah,
happen.
they definitely fly
It's
themselves.
definitely had to happen. Just statistically, it's had to
It's
happen.
called a cockpit. You're right. And the guy who's in the jump seat's called Deadhead. He's got head and cock.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they change cockpit to flight deck?
Flight deck.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Flight
Yeah.
It's
deck.
not a deck, though.
I agree.
They wanted to get rid of cockpit.
Yeah, there are too many
But they
jokes.
still have deadheading, I think.
Deadheading isn't that like
I've had some deadhead
I
before.
bet.
Yeah.
Isn't deadheading like
great.
like a flight attendant jumping on a
Yeah.
flight?
In the jump seat.
Okay.
Oh, that's not the co-pilot, then that's the
No,
little,
that's
got
the
it.
jump
Yeah,
seat,
the little
yeah.
seat
Right.
that faces everybody.
Well, can we round things off with one more airport story, or at least airline story? Virgin Atlantic, always on the cutting edge of progress.
Oh, this
I thought they were
one.
gone, by the way, until I thought they went out of business until I literally
They got
landed at
bought by-
They got bought by
LAX.
Alaska.
Virgin America.
And I walked by and there was a Virgin America. They're back now?
Well,
No,
Virgin
they got-
Atlantic.
Yeah, Virgin Atlantic's always been
Oh,
around. Virgin
Atlantic,
America bought
America.
by Alaska.
Got
So
Alaska bought Virgin America?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So they've said they're scrapping gendered uniforms in an effort to champion the individuality of its employees. And we have some pictures for you. The British Airline announced in a press release that the cabin crew, pilots, and ground staff can select which uniform they feel most comfortable in, no matter their gender, gender identity, or gender expression. As to why they're doing this, Virgin Atlantic's chief commercial officer said in the press release that the company believes it's important to encourage people to embrace their individuality, be their true selves at work.
No, not
and this
at
is
work.
part of the Be Yourself
Do
agenda.
that shit in your apartment.
So we got some men in some lovely skirt suits. We got some ladies in, a three-piece suit.
Can you get a job there and identify as the pilot?
Oh,
Yeah, Dawson. I don't like it. I like uniforms. I like lines. Because I'll tell you, at a certain point, you're going to ask for a fucking bag of pretzels, and they're going to go, that's not part of my vibe, man. Like I'm doing my.
right.
I didn't get on this plane to
about me
serve
right
you.
now.
This is really more about how I feel about myself.
Oh, slippery slope.
Slippery slope. Yeah. I think there's some transgender, transsexual.
I think
I don't know
so.
what we call it anymore. I gotta tell you, I'm not for it. I'm old fashioned. I like uniforms. And by the way, if you find this kind of stuff, to be difficult, then pick another profession where they don't have a uniform.
Well, and also, what happened to just like everyone in a sleek pair of pants and a blazer?
That's it.
Yeah,
just
do
a universal
one.
uniform that is good, asexual.
Yeah,
good for
fine.
everybody.
Yeah.
So
That's all you
thumbs
need.
down.
What it is here's why it's always thumbs down to all these whatever. When Eminem says we're gonna have a lesbian Eminem or whatever the fuck they're doing. Keep in mind, they don't give a fuck. They're just pandering to a small group of fucking assholes that are steering this country off a cliff. They're pandering. They don't give a fuck about whatever. We're going to move the All-Star game from Georgia to Colorado. It's like they don't, black people, voters' rights or whatever. Everyone is just, it's a constant race to pander and give the appearance that you care as much as, and they don't. And that's why it bothers me.
No, a little disingenuous.
Yeah, but listen, think about, it's all just part of the sort of evolution of commercial travel. There used to be serving carts and
silverware.
You'd get a pin with like an eagle on it or American
Blanket,
flag
a
or something.
pillow.
Get a little tote case, Those Pan Am tote cases were so valuable that the Beatles were like, hey, a free tote case. This is huge. A weird size, too.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't hold
Leatherette.
I think I still have. My father worked for Pan Am.
Oh,
I still
my
have a
God.
bunch of work shirts, his old work jackets.
Really?
Yeah. And I wear them sometimes, and people come over to me and like, "Is that original?" I'm like, "It is," and they're like, "You shouldn't wear that." I'm like, "Yeah."
Why? Stolen valor?
Yeah, no, they think it's so valuable that I should
Oh, my
save
God.
it,
I bet you I'll bet you if you had the one the Beatles walked off
Oh,
the plane
well,
with,
fuck
you'd
yeah.
be sitting on several $100,000. What'd your dad do?
He was a crew chief.
Okay.
He worked at whatever it was National. Now it's Reagan, I think it is now. DC Airport
Worked on
there.
the planes? That's good.
Ran the crew that worked on everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like Sheen on Wall Street, or let's see, not Wall Street. God, what's his name? The Oliver Stone movie, Money.
I don't know. Who
Martin
worked on
Sheen, the agree
Martin
is good.
Sheen. Yeah.
It was Wall Street.
It is Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Sheen. I was thinking Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I couldn't
saw
think
the
of Martin's
movie that
first
well.
name. He was the crew chief on the
Well,
Blue
Charlie Sheen
Star
was an
Airline.
investor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not pilot good, but it's good.
It's
you know
not
what I
pilot.
mean?
Listen, I grew up knowing it wasn't
acceptable.
pilot.
But that's the problem with Dad worked for
When your
Pan
dad's
Am.
bringing home trash cans of sodas and shit, I
Right.
know it's not pilot. good.
Pan Am. If you said my dad worked for Pan Am, everyone's head goes to pilot, and then there's 289 jobs that are disappointing under pilot, and it's going to be one of those. You know what I mean? He did the sweep and the mop of the dining area and the
Yeah.
pilot lounge. You know, it's all going to be something boring and shitty under pilot.
I remember
But
going
crew
to work.
chief is pretty
He
strong.
was top of his position. He was
Right.
top of his position. But I remember it was a room that wasn't much bigger than this, square, 4 walls, square. And back when lottery tickets were the size of a business card, you remember that? Before they were this long and all that shit. And they all would play. And 3 of the 4 walls were completely covered, wallpapered, and losing fucking tickets. I'll never forget walking in and seeing.
Really?
Yeah, these are the guys doing that all
Stay
the
in
time.
school,
This
kids.
wall had like boobies and stuff on it, but stuff you couldn't do now at all.
The chronology of Virgin is 2019 stops requiring women to wear makeup and skirts. 2022 allows crew members to show off their tattoos. And now we're getting into this. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Go fuck yourself. I pray you all burn in hell.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, let me tell you about our friend Jordan Harbinger. All right, let's see. You can go San Diego Mic Drop doing comedy there October 28th and 29th. So come by and see the live pod there and see some stand-up there as well. Vegas, Wise Guys coming up November 2nd. You can go to St. Louis Helium on November 11th, 12th. You can go to amcroll.com for all the live shows. You want to see Ryan Sickler? He's got live shows coming up. Chicago, Grand Rapids. What you should do is go to ryansickler.com and find out where he's going to be and when he's going to be doing his excellent stand-up. The podcast, the Honeydew podcast as well. You can
What a
find
pro.
that wherever you listen to
Thank you
finer
so much.
podcasts. Ward Conley, you can shoot him a tweet at To Be Equal. And until next time, Sam Carolla, for Ryan Sickler, Ward Conley, Gina Grad, and Paul Bryan, say it. Mahalo.